Welcome back to Box Office Maniacs, and we are continuing the Mist series, and we are now on episode 8 of 10. So after today, we only have 2 episodes left. Yeah, I know. Okay, so episode 8. A lot of things happened this week, actually. Some interesting things. Well, maybe not so much interesting, but things happened this week. So let's first get into the stuff that's going on with the people that are out in the mist. Okay, so they finally decided to leave the hospital and leave the psych ward and venture out into the mist to finally get to the hospital. And apparently they didn't have any problem finding the hospital, but they have a problem finding a gigantic mall somewhere that everybody knows where it is because they're lost in the mist now. So they end up going down this neighborhood, and the gay kid, Adrian, now I know his name, he was like, "Oh, hang on, that's my house. That just happens to be my house you're driving by. We gotta stop. I gotta see what's happened inside my house." I was like, okay, what a coincidence that they're driving past Adrian's house lost in the fog, but, whatever. So Adrian decides he's going to go into the house to see what's going on. And the military guy and the drug addict, they're going to go into the garage and siphon the gas out of Adrian's parents' car because their car is running out of gas. Okay, makes sense, right? So Adrian goes into his house and his dad's sitting there at his supper table eating. And I'm like, is this the fog messing with Adrian again, or is this real? What is happening here? Apparently it's real. His dad's just sitting there just eating, like nothing's going on. And so I started thinking to myself, is this whole neighborhood, are all these people alive in this neighborhood? If so, if they see a car driving down the neighborhood, would they not be interested in who's out there, who's driving the car? Or is everybody dead? Just this one guy ended up surviving? It was just a really weird sequence of why is he alive? And if he's alive, is everybody in this town alive? Or what? I don't know. To me, it came off just as kind of stupid. And of course, Adrian's dad does not like Adrian because Adrian is gay and his dad doesn't like that. So he's always either talking down to him or making fun of him or whatever. But then you find out that Adrian's mom is also there and she's dead. How did she die? Well, this is a good one. Apparently she went out on the balcony and got attacked by birds, and they pecked her face to death. So we have fog birds now, and again, they described that whole sequence. It would have been cool to see it. No budget. Oh, well, what happened to her? She got attacked by birds. We can't show it to you, but here is a really bad makeup of what happened afterwards. Okay. So then we get to the people that are siphoning the gas out of the car, the drug addict, military guy. They go into the garage, and what do? Start having sex, of course. I'm like, the guy's sitting out there in a car waiting for him. You got the other guy in the house talking to his dad. You got these people out in the garage having sex. It's like the world is ending. Let's have sex in this car. It was stupid. It was just like, okay, if that's the only thing on your mind and nothing that's happening around here, just to get bang, just to bang in the car, come on. Let's switch scenes now back to I don't remember what the sequence was here, but let's get back to the church people. Now, this old woman I thought was somewhat interesting, but now she's just coming off as pure annoying. I don't like her. I don't like her character anymore. I don't like the storyline that's going on here anymore. I think it's stupid. So basically, since she went out naked last week into the fog, and the fog did not choose her, but it chose the preacher, her religion is correct. So they're going to listen to what she has to preach. And she's preaching about some thing that happened like in 1930 to the town. I can't remember what it was called. But she's saying it's happening again because all the people there and everybody is deserving of what's going on, and it's just a stupid thing that she's rambling about. And it's really funny. She's sitting there talking to the sheriff, and she starts talking about chemtrails. All these planes flying up there, they're dropping hospital chemicals down, and she's like rambling about I said, where did that come from? Where did chemtrails come from? It's like, okay. So then she's talking to the sheriff and decides that, she's going to leave. There's time for them to get out of the church and go and go somewhere. So they decide they found a path that everybody could leave out of a safe path to get out of the church. So she went and asked all these other people that are sitting in the church, hey, we're getting out. You guys want to stay or you want to go with us? And they're like, oh, we'll go ahead and stay. And she's like, okay, bye. And then she leaves. And then she blocks, I guess, the only door that's in the church. There's no other way of getting out of there. There's no other back door. And they set it on fire. And they go down into the sewer system while the church burns. And you hear the one woman, wah! She screams. And that was the church burning down. I'm just like, again, no budget to show the church burning down. No more budget, I guess, to get anyone else to scream. Just one lonely scream up there when the church is burning down to indicate that the church is on fire. And she killed the whole group. And now she's with the sheriff and I think one or two other people. And they're going into the sewers underneath of the church. To go where? I have no idea. I don't really care at this point. So let's get back to the mall now. Now she is falling for the jock that supposedly molested her, which we all know that didn't happen because I predicted, I think in the first episode or the second episode, who did it. I did change my tune a little bit, but I'll get to that in a minute because I thought the show was going to be a little bit more intelligent and try to throw us a curve, but the show is not that intelligent and did not throw us a curve. But let's get to that. I'm going to save that for the end of the review here because it's a big reveal. It's a huge reveal at the end of the show. She's with roller skates and she's roller skating around with this guy and it's just stupid. The whole thing's dumb. And now we get back to the woman whose kid was murdered by the mist, and the blonde, she was in the room when the kid got murdered, but she didn't get murdered, but the kid did. Now the mother wants revenge on that girl, wants to send her out into the mist. This is the one that was molested by the jock. So, she keeps going around saying, oh, well, she needs to be thrown out in the mist, and she keeps causing all this trouble, and the president of the mall is sick of her. He doesn't want anything to do with her, keeps telling her, shut up, mind your own business. And there's a guard there, and the guard's just annoying. Anytime the president says, shut up, you don't need to be talking about her. Shut up, you don't need to be saying anything. Shut up, you know what you're talking. I don't know, the guy's just annoying. I don't like that guy, that character, the actor, I don't like him whatsoever. So then the mother finds out that, that her daughter has the hots for this jock. So she tells the jock, hey, why don't you go get us some water and bring some water back. So he goes to get some water, like some faraway place apparently in the mall, and she locks him in to keep him away from her daughter because her daughter is not going to all of a sudden realize that he's gone and go look for him and figure out what happened to him. No, that's never going to happen. So now let's return back to Adrian and his not dead father in the sex scene, and the other guy sitting out in the car. The guy out in the car sees his flashlight blink on and off, so he's like, oh, maybe there's somebody next door who needs help. So he goes and checks it out, and the guy that comes out is the gamer that they threw out of the mall. Somehow the guy walked from wherever the mall's at that they can't find, from the mall all the way over to this house and didn't get killed in the mist. And must have been a pretty far trip because if they're lost and they can't find the mall, this guy survived out there. So, and he's actually the only real character I somewhat like in the show, and he's only been in the show for like 10 minutes. But the actor seems like he's, pretty good. I even mentioned on one of my other reviews, I was wondering if they were going to show what happened to him while he was out in the mist. Nope, they didn't. They just showed him he ended up in the house right next to Adrian's house. What a coincidence that was. So now we get back inside the house, and Adrian is yelling at his dad, telling him, that he blames him for this and he blames him from that, and he's always been mean to him, and on and on and on. So then Adrian ends up getting a shotgun and shoots his dad and kills his dad. So the people who are having sex out there in the garage, I guess, finally decided, oh, hey, we've been out here for 30 minutes, half an hour. Maybe we need to get that gas and take it back out to the car where the world is ending and see what's happening. The guy in the car heard the gunshot and he runs inside to see what's going on. And then Adrian cuts himself so it looks like his dad hurt him, and then he was defending himself and shot him. So at this point, you find out that Adrian is a total psycho, complete psychopath, crazed nutcase. Now, from now on, I'm just going to call him Psycho Kid because that's what he is. And this would have been a really interesting scene, and it would actually have made the series somewhat interesting if this kid could act at all. His acting is so horrendous. He's probably the worst actor in the whole show, if that's possible, but he is. and he's trying to act like he's crazy, and he's trying to act like he's being he got attacked, and it was embarrassing to watch. The kid is just a terrible actor. So the guy runs in there to see what's going on with Adrian, and this guy is the father of the girl that was molested in the mall. And all along, even from the first or second episode, I said, Adrian did it. Adrian did it. Adrian did it. So then I was like, well, maybe in the other episode, his bathroom buddy had been the one who did it, because I believe he was at the party as well. And Adrian was like, oh, well, I don't want him to get blamed for it, so I'm going to take the blame for it if it ever comes up. But no, nothing that complicated. Nothing that... No, Adrian did it. Adrian ended up being the one who molested the girl in the mall. So it wasn't the jock. Big reveal this week, just huge reveal. But what I was not really expecting, believe it or not, was that Adrian was a total psychopath. That was a great twist to the series. But like I said, it's not that great because he's a terrible actor. And he just didn't pull it off. He did not pull off that he was nuts, and I don't know. He's just horrible, and it ruined the scene because of how bad of the acting was in that sequence. And he ended up knocking out the dad, the owl book guy, and then so he runs back out to the car. So now they're all out in the car, and Adrian, Psycho Kid, said that the guy that came in to get him, I believe the mist killed him, or he died, or I don't know what the excuse was, and so he's not coming. So now they're like, oh, okay, well, bye, and they take off. This is what the show has been missing. Seriously, this is what the show's been missing. Any sort of tension, any sort of anticipation of what could happen. And finally, they implemented it in the show. Now you have Owl Book writing guy, and he knows who raped his daughter, which was Psycho Kid, and now he's stuck at this house. Psycho Kid's going off to the mall, and now you have some kind of anticipation of him trying to get back to that mall to confront this kid and confront now that what he knows happened. So finally, 8 episodes, and it took him 8 episodes to finally get something that you're watching, and you're like, oh, maybe this is interesting now. Maybe I'm looking forward to seeing what this guy does and what happens to him when he gets a hold of Psycho Kid. Because the whole getting to the mall thing is stupid, is boring. Who cares? Who cares if they get to the mall? But now they have a purpose to get there. So finally, yes, they actually put some anticipation in the show. 2 more episodes before it ends. And now we end the show when we get back to the mall with the president of the Ding Dong Club. He doesn't like the woman that is stirring up all this trouble because she wants to take out the girl for killing her daughter, which she didn't do because the mist did, but she thinks the daughter did. So he ends up fighting her, and she's like kneeling over this big shrine of pictures that she had of her daughter, and there's candles all over the crazy place, and the woman's like nuts. And so he finally ends up confronting her, and he's like, well, you need to let everybody know there's nothing wrong with this girl, because she keeps telling everybody in the mall there's something wrong with her. The mist didn't want her, she's evil, and they need to throw her out, and all this other stuff. And he's just like, well, you just need to let them know that you're making this up. This is none of this true. And then she's like, well, I saw you upstairs in your office eating your ding-dongs. So you want me to go and tell them that too? And he's like, oh, wait a minute now. Hang on. Wait a minute. So she's like, well, I think I'm going to go tell him. I'm going to go tell him you got plenty of food up there in your office and you're shoving it in your face. Okay, well, no, you can't go do that. Then he picked up something and he smacked her in the head with it and killed her. Bam! So somehow all the mall people show up right after that happens, and they see her laying there dead, bleeding out of the head, and he's like, and the security guy's like, you did it! You did it! You did it! And the president of the mall's like, nope, not me. It was, I think her name's Alex, if I remember what her name is. The girl that was molested. He's like, nope, she did it. She hit him in the head. I seen her. She ran off. So now, of course, the whole mall is going to go after her because he is saving his ding-dongs for himself, and they're more important than anything else right now, I guess. So now they're going to be a lynch mob going after this girl. That was it. That was this episode. And while interesting stuff happened this week, nothing was really cool. There was no real cool sequences here. There could have been if they decided to maybe show some stuff, but instead of talking about it. But, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened this week that, again, like I said, almost makes you want to watch next week, because they finally put that anticipation in there of what's going to happen to Psycho Kid now. And are they going to get to the mall? And how is this guy going to get to the mall? Obviously, he can walk there from where he's at because Gamer Kid got there. And now are they going to have a lynch mob against this girl? So they did bring up some interesting things, except for the old woman down the sewers. I could care less. I could absolutely care less where she's going. I don't care about that part of the storyline whatsoever. So hopefully you guys liked tonight's episode better than the actual episode was. And if you did, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that little bell to let you know that when I upload videos, it'll bring it up on your device, whatever device you have, that I uploaded a new video. So, that's it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is Box Office Maniacs, and I'll see you next time in The Mist. Unless I get attacked by birds.